Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and today I'm gonna demonstrate to you in the series of Microsoft Access videos. So today I'm gonna show you and demonstrate to you how to create multi-table forms, how to create multi-table forms in Access. So the objective of this video, you should be able to use the data type yes, no, long text attachment field in the form to apply an input mask, to enter the data of various types, to enter the file in an attachment field, to create a form using a design view, to create a form with a subform, modifying the subform and the form design, modifying the label in the form, enhancing the appearance of your form title, to set the tab stop sequence in a form, to use the form to view the data and attachments, and to use the object dependencies, to use the data, time, long, text, and yes and no field in a query, and then how to include data sheet on a form, how to how to explain how to create multi-table forms. So for this video, I will also attach the data file that you need once you're gonna be following me, once you're gonna go through the step with me. So I have attached the files that I'm using in this video. In the description of the video, you're gonna find all the pictures, all the documents, and the database itself will be under the uh, data file that I will be attaching it in the video description. So let's start. So the first thing is I downloaded the folder. I will open the folder and then these are all the pictures. This is the Microsoft Word and this is the Microsoft Access file that we have to use. So I will double click it to open it. So the first thing is it says security risk. So what we need is we have to save it with another name other than the name that we have it here. So you're gonna go to File, Save As, save the database as, and then you will click Save As, and then I will open my folder under the Documents, and then I will change the one, I will delete the one, and I will click and type ClearNet, ClearNet, and then I will hit Save. Now, it's very important that you have to enable the content. That's like a security warning. So you need to enable the content. Now, as I mentioned in my previous access videos, this here in the top is your tabs, all right? Below the tabs, these guys here is your ribbon, right? All the Microsoft product, they have the ribbon and the tabs. So the ribbon, and then the ribbon has group. These are groups with different names. Every group has a specific name. Find, text format, all right? Once you change the tab, the ribbon is going to change accordingly. Next, this is your access object navigation pane or access object window where all your object is going to be listed one after the other. So as you see here, I have the object table and all the table. I have queries and below that all the queries in that category. forms, and then all the forms, and then report. So these are the four main object in Microsoft Access. And this is your status bar here. The status bar, it says ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is to add field with new data types to a table. All right. We're going to add a couple of columns with different data types, right? So to do that, we need the table carriers. So you're going to do right click on it. And then in the shortcut menu, the second option is design view. Design view is the place where you have to enter the columns or the field and the data type of the field that you want to create. So below the drivers, we're going to add a couple more columns inside the table carriers. So the first one we're going to do is LTL, and then the data type will be yes or no. So click the drop down, click the data type yes or no. The next field is gonna be equipment types. And then the data type for this one, instead of being short, is gonna be long. So what's the difference between short text and long is that the short text you can go up to 255 character long. So the limitation is like the short you have up till 255 character, the field size. Whereas the long, it doesn't have any limitation, it's unlimited. You can type as many information you want under the equipment types, right? So let me show you, as I don't have any field size. When you declare a field as a long, you see, I don't see it. I don't see any field size here, so it's unlimited. The next field is the driver photo. We're gonna add the photo of the drivers, photos, and then the data type is gonna be attachment. We're gonna attach the pictures. And then the last one I need is the carrier space documentation. And that also will be as an attachment. So once we have added these four new field with the new data types, all right? So the LTL will be yes or no data type. Equipment type will be long text. The driver photos and the carrier documentation, both of them are attachments. So now we have to save the table design view. So first click here. Now in the quick access toolbar, click the floppy to save it. Now, the next is to use the input mask wizard. So what's an input mask? Input mask specifies how data is to be entered and how it will appear. So the input mask specifies how data is to be entered and how it will appear. For example, an input mask can indicate that the phone number has a parenthesis around the first three digits and a hyphen between the sixth and the seventh digits, right? So let's create the input mask using the input mask wizard. So the question is, why do we need an input mask wizard? The wizard assists you in the creation of the input mask by allowing you to select from a list of the most frequently used input mask, right? So for this case, we're gonna select the field font, and then we have to go to the field properties and look for the input mask, which is number 3, input mask. When you clicked it, go all the way to the right. You will see the 3 dots. Click the button. It's gonna open the input mask dialog box. So which input mask matches you want data to look. So these are all the symbols I have for the social security number. I have for the zip code, extension, password, long day. There's a bunch of them. All right. So because we have to apply the input mask for the font, so select the font, and then here it said try it. So let's see how it's gonna look like. Just put the number. So they're gonna look like this, right? Next, and then if you wanna change the placeholder, so we have different characters. You can choose the hash, add the @ sign, the pipe sign. There's a bunch of them. You see that? The number sign. So we're gonna leave with the underscore. Next. Now here I say, how do you want to store the data? So we're gonna stick with the symbol in the mask like this. Now click next. There's no more next now. So finish. So the input bar mask, as you see here, is being added for the phone, for the carrier phone. All right. Next is that we need to add a field in a data sheet view, right? So obviously we're gonna enter a data using the input mask, right? So the input mask direct Microsoft Access to automatically insert the parentheses around the area code. The space follows following the second parenthesis and the hyphen in the phone number. All right. So to do that, let's close the design, save the changes. Now let's open the carrier in a data sheet view. All right. Now we're gonna go and add record number 5. So it's gonna be C dash 005. Press the enter key. The name is track and go inc. The name is Felipa Martinez. Now that's the important thing now in the phone number. Just what you need is you will have to tap the number without the hyphen. Automatic Excel will put the hyphen as you see me. See? Just I'm typing the number now. Then press the enter key. Now I can see if I can stretch it. There you go. Now the email example.com, the address 59, comma, box 8822, Empire, MO 63044. The MC number 00. 102942. The US DOT 3448229. The insurance is Overland Insurer. Insurance. Payment is a bank transfer. Central State account. Account 228-3-573-40. Press the enter key or you can use the tab key. The driver is Arika. Now the LTL is to enter the yes or no, right? So the field that are yes or no contain a checkbox, as you notice that. So if you declare a column with a data type yes or no, they will have a checkbox. So the field that are yes dash no field contain checkboxes. To set the value to yes, you can place the check mark in the checkbox. So why do we need that? So a check mark indicates that the value is yes or true, right? To set a value to no, you need to leave the checkbox blank if it's no, if it's false, all right? Or you can also use the space bar, right? I will use the space bar. As you see that, I checked it. Now, let's go move. I will move a little bit here. So the next is the equipment type. So the equipment type, I'm gonna type here. I will type container repair, comma, and dry van shipping. All right. Now, what I show you is to how to enter data in a long text field, right? So the next thing is I need to go to C002. That's the C dash 002, and I will tap it, and we're gonna type the equipment type. So that is refer, comma, tanker, and and dry van shipping, right? Now we need to change the row and the column size. Only a small portion of the equipment tab that appears in the data sheet. To allow more of the information to appear, you can expand the size of the row and the column. All right. So for example, we can, for example, if you are not able to see this, you can just double click it, expand, right? Or what you could do is you can go to the row and you can expand. When you see the two split arrows, now I can see all the information there, all right? So the next, so what you need to do is you need to drag the lower edge of any record indicator to approximately the position shown. So you can do it this way. Look, you can stretch it like this. All right. The next is to enter images in an attachment field. To insert a photo into an attachment field, you use the Manage Attachment command on the attachment field shortcut menu. So the photo should already be created and stored in a file. So I have the picture that I need to use, right? And then you can choose to insert it directly from the file. Why? The Manage Attachment command makes it easier to attach photo to a field rather than using the OLE object field. The OLE is another type of data type that you can use to 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 insert images to your table, right? So the OLE object field required access to open compatible application before you can view the photo, right? That's why we prefer to have what we call attachment. So to enter images in an attachment field. So let's go to the one we add Erica and we are here, right? So what we need is we will do right click, and then when you see the shortcut menu, click on manage attachment, and then you will click on add. Now I need to go to the data file, the folder that has the images. So that is under the desktop, chapter 5 data files, and then we're gonna pick the picture of Arika. This is the one here, and then click open, and then click OK. Now you see the attachment has one picture has been added. All right. So we need to insert the remaining photos, right? So the next one is Givesh. So you will go here and then do right click, manage, add. You will see the manage dialog box. Click add, and then we are looking for. So that's the one here, the wish, and then click OK. Now the next one is Martha Roman. As I'm reading the drivers, right click, manage, add. Now we are looking for Martha. Click OK, and then click OK. Now we need Ji Hoon. So right click on the picture, then manage attachment, add, and then we are looking for Ji Hoon. Select the picture and then open and then OK. Now we need Venery Denise. Right click, manage, add. So we are looking for Venery. So all the picture is being added. All right. Now you can also add two pictures if you want to add, right? So if you want to do that, you can also go here again, right click, manage, then add, and then we can also add, for example, Gary. So I will do this one also. As you see, we add two pictures, and then so there's two picture for the drivers, right? We can also add for Martha, and then for this one, we will add, let's see, Martha. So we're gonna put another one. We could say, I will use Dennis. All right. So obviously, Dennis will be the next. Let me go back. I will take Dennis, remove it, and I will go here to add. So we can select. We did this one. We can select Roman and Martha. Now we have to go to Dennis, right click, manage, add the other driver picture. In this case would be Dennis. Click OK. Now we need to enter more data in an attachment field. So to insert Word, document, or PDF in an attachment field, you use the Manage Attachment command on the attachment field shortcut menu. The Manage Attachment command displays the attachment dialog box, which you can use to attach as many files as necessary to the field, right? So in this case, we will click on Arica, and then we're gonna do Manage, and then we're gonna click add, and then we need the support billing of landing template. So that's the one here. Click and then click OK. So one has been attached. So the record has no documentation attachment, has a 0 with it. The one that has attachment is gonna show 1. All right. Now we have to save the table and close it. So go to the floppy in the quick access toolbar. Now close it. So the table has been saved. And obviously, you are not going to see the picture until we create the form. All right. So the multi-table form techniques. So what we want to do now, we want to create two forms, the main form, and then within the main, we're going to have the subform. So what we want to do actually for a multi-table form technique with the additional field in place, ClearNet is ready to incorporate the data from both the carriers and the load table into a single form. The form will display the data concerning one carrier at a time. It will also display the data concerning the money loads assigned to the carrier. The relationship between the carrier and the load is to one-to-many relationship in which the carrier table is the one table and the load table is the money table. So to include the data for money loads of the carrier on the form, the load will appear in a subform, which is the form that contained within the another form. The form in which the subform is contained is called the main form. The form in which the subform is contained is called the main form. Thus, the main form will contain the carrier data and the subform will contain the load information. So to do that, to create the form in a design view, so let's click create, and then we have to go to the group in the ribbon that says forms, and then we have to click on form design. So we open the form design. The next thing we need is because we're going to add the field, the columns. So we need to activate add existing field. So click on the button here to show us the list of list of tables. So then click on show tables. You will see all your tables in the database. All right. So what we need is we need to expand the carriers. Click the plus sign. Now to add the control for a field to the form, we need to place a control for the field on a form by dragging the field from the field list to the desired position, right? So dragging is the easiest way to place a field on a form, right? So the first one I'm looking at is the create a carrier ID. So I will drag it, right? Now we need to add the control for the additional fields. These fields all needs to be included in the form, like the carrier name, the carrier contact, carrier phone, carrier field, and the driver field on the form by dragging the field from the field list. So to do that, the next will be the carrier. So I will drag it and you can move it like this. Then the next I'm looking at career contact, right? Then I'm looking for the career phone. Then I'm looking for the drivers, right? So now we need to align the control on the left. To ensure the group of control is aligned properly with each other, we need to select all the affected controls and then use the appropriate alignment button on the Arrange tab. So to do that, we need to select this and then hold the shift of the control. So the shift, and then we have to go to the tab arrange, and then we have to go to align, and then we have to select align to the left. All right. Now this is adjust. Now, if you want, you can select this and you can move it. You see the square that I have. So move your cursor over the square and you can drag the contact individually to make it align with the carrier name, right? Now we need to select this, hold the shift, and then we can go to the alignment and you see it aligned. Now I can move this here and then I can go here and move it. All right. You can move this a little bit down. Now you can align the control on the top and adjust the vertical space. So we're gonna select this, all the shift key. All right. So aligning the top edges of the control improve the neatness and appearance of the form. In addition, we might also want the vertical space between the control to be the same, right? So we're gonna go back to the alignment and then we're gonna say top, right? Now we have to select all the shift key, all right? Once you have selected it, then we're gonna go back to size slash space, and then we have to go to equal vertical, right? Now, as you see, equal vertical, it makes them like this equally, right? So if you want it like this, that's well and good. If not, then you can just move this guy here, all right? So everything look perfect. Now we need to add the equipment type, right? And then you can increase the mat. All right. So we need the equipment type to be here. And then we will drag this here. Perfect. Now we need the LTL. That will be here. And then we need the driver photo. So for the driver photo, what you need is collapse it, hit the negative. Then you have to drag it. And then I will move it away. So we need the picture to be down. Okay. We can increase the size, hold the square, the dots. Right. Next is we have to put the carrier documentation. So drag it. We can move it like this. All right. So if you want to align this, you can just drag it down. The best is you can arrange the way you want it. I will increase this a little bit. Perfect. So the next is to use a shortcut menu to change the fill back color. You can use the background color button on the Format tab to change the background color of the form. You can also use the shortcut menu, right? It's up to you. We have to change it to gray. Now to do that, what we want to do is you're going to do a right click and then you're going to see backfill and then we are looking for this gray. Number 2. As you see, the background color change to the light gray. Now we need to add a title. A form should have a descriptive title. Why? The title gives the concise description of the purpose of the form, right? So to add that, what we need to do, we will click the contextual tab form design, and then you will see the header/footer, and then you will click on title. As you see, a new section has been added to the form that says form header, and then we're gonna call it carrier carrier load form, and then we have to click the floppy to save the form, and the form name is carrier space loads form, and click OK. And now, as you see, the name is form 1. Now it should change to carrier load forms. Now we need to place a subform. The control group on the form design contain a button called the tools that you use to place a variety of types of controls on a form. To place a subform on a form, we need to use the subform/subreport tool, right? So before we do that, we need to ensure that the use control wizard button is selected. Why? If the use control button is selected, a wizard will guide you through the process of adding the subform. All right. So as you see here, we have the controls under the form design. So click the down arrow for more controls. And then we are looking for this one, subform slash subreport. So click on it. All right. So one thing, what you need to do is go here and be sure that we need this to use the wizard. All right. So go back and click, and then we have to drop a box in here. So let me do it again. So the wizard should be active like this. Click subform. Now you see my cursor has like the sub report and subform with it. So now just I will draw, or I will draw like a box like this. It's gonna open the dialog box, okay? So the wizard is gonna launch with the subform wizard. Now the next is I'm gonna be using an existing table and queries. Click next. Then from the next screen here, we're gonna select the load, the table loads. And then from the loads, we are looking for the load ID, double click it. Pickup date, double click it. And then we are looking for drop off date, double click it. And then we are looking for rate confirmation, double click it. And then double click the mileage. Then we are looking truck type. All right. Then hit next. So let me confirm again. The load ID, pickup date, drop off date, rate confirmation, mileage, and the track type. Then click next. Now here it says, will you like to define which field link your main form to this subform? So you don't need to do anything. Just you have to press next. As you see here, choose from the list and show the load is already been selected. Just click next. Now here we have to give it the name load, loads subform, and then there's no more next. So click on finish. So the sub form is being added that has the load table information. All right. So now I can move this a little bit down, up, it's up to you. So I will go this side here and I can drag it down here. And then let's view the form now. Or you can move this. So let's view the form. You will click, you will have to go to form, form design, and then view. Because we are in the form design. If you click here, see, we are in the design of the form. We need to view form now. As you see, the first one, then I will go down here for the next record. That's the next drive. This is the next one. This is Dennis. This is Arika. And if I go back, I shall have the attachment also. That's the attachment. So let's save the form. Click the floppy disk from the quick access toolbar. Now we can also open the load. You can close this form and then we can open the load subform. All right, and you can stretch if there's anything coming off. Right. So right boundary of the field selector if you wanna shrink it down. All right. Now the next one, if we wanna click on, let's close it and let's open the carrier load form, right? And then we can adjust this, right? And then also we can change the label. So let's go to view, design view, right? Design view. And then we will stretch this. When you see the yellow boundary, then you can stretch it, right? Now, the next thing we can do, now let's see what happened with these changes. So we can see everything now. If you want, you can go back. Layout also you can do with the layout. So obviously you can also do it through your form layout, you see. Now the next thing is if you want to adjust the picture, right? If you want to adjust the picture. So to do that, what we can do is also you see here we're gonna change the label. The label can be changed in a form to be more dis descriptive. The form has enough room to display more than the entire field name. So adding extra information add clarity to your form, right? So to do that, I will I can go here and double click it, and then I'm gonna type, and then I can drag it. So create a notification. All right. And then if you go to the next record here, you see this gap I have. We can make this to take the whole space that you provided. All right. So we can also do that. We can adjust. So to do that, what we can do, we could change the size, right? So I can show you how. We need the property. So go to the property sheet and then you will see picture size mode. You can go here and then you're gonna stretch it. You can make it clip. Clip is like too big. Say stretch. And then you can stretch the picture accordingly. Perfect. You can close it. Now the next thing we want to do, we have to, we already changed the label as you see here. The next is to change the label effects and colors. Access allow you to change many of the characteristics of the labels. These are the labels. These are the text boxes. So these are the labels. So access allow you to change many of the characteristics of the label in the form. You can change the border style, the color, the background color, the font, and the font size. All right. So let's click on the label. Now we have to change the view to design. Now click. Now you need to hold the shift key and only click on the labels. Right? Then we have to go to format. We are already in the format. And then we will click the font group. Click the A with a red underline. And then we will make it dark blue. Dark blue. And then the next thing, what we need is we need the properties. So let's go to the form design, the property sheet under the tools. And then we have to look for the border style. Border style is now transparent. Border style transparent, right? And then we need solid, solid, right? And then we need border width. The border width has to change to 3 point, all right? The special effects. Let's go to the special effects. Now it's flat, and we want to change to sunken. The special effect should be sunken. Okay. And then the next thing we want to do is now let's let's close the property sheet. Hit click the X. Let's view the form. So far, that's what you have created, right? So the next is to modify the appearance of the form title. The following step I will show you is how to enhance the form title. You can enhance the title in a variety of ways by changing its appearance, right? So we can go back, design. Now, if you want to make it boldface, you can go here. You can hit the boldface to boldface. And then if you want, you can stretch it a little bit. Perfect. Next, let's click the form and then we need a little bit of space. So you see here, this detail bar, move your cursor in the border of it and drag it down to give you some space. See, I got some space. I can move a little bit more. Now we need to size this box, right? So you cannot do it. You can move this a little bit more if you want to by holding the right. Okay. Now we need the property sheet again. So go to form design and then the tool group, property sheet, and then under the property sheet, we need to change the value. We need to change. We want to change. Let's go to format, right? So the size 28, right? And then we want to change the value to distribute text, text align, distribute, right? And then we need to change it to semi-bold, semi-bold. So the font weight is normal now, semi-bold, all right? And then if you think that you want to make it more bold, you can do so. So what we did is we changed the size to 28. The text alignment is distribute and semi-bold. All right. Now the next is to change the tab stop. User can repeatedly press the tab to move through the control on the form. However, they should bypass the driver photos and the documentation code because the user do not enter the data into this field. To omit, to omit this control from the tab stop sequence, we need to do these steps here. So changing the tab stop property for this field to no, remove them from the tab stop sequence. All right. So we need to click the driver and then we need to hold the shift and select the carrier documentation. And then we need the property. So for example, if the property sheet was closed, you will click the property sheet under the form design here. And then we have to look for the option that says tab. So we need to, so we have to look for the tab stop. So I will click all And then I will scroll a little bit. There you go. So first what you need, select the all, and then you will see here. So we're gonna see the tab stop is yes now. So we don't want to include the picture. We don't want, right? So we want to exclude it from the tab stop. So we selected it. Now we're gonna go here and we have to select now. All right. So the next is, and then you can close the property. So the next is changing the tab order. Changing the tab order, right? So to do that, under the tools again, you have to select the form, design contextual, tab, the tools group, and then tab stop. And then you could change the tabs. So we have carrier, then the name, contact, photo, driver. So we don't want, after the driver, we need the LTL. So what you need is you will select this and drag it. When you see the black line, that's where you have to release it. So if you tapped the create ID, then tab is gonna go to the name, contact, phone, drivers, LTL, then equipment types, driver photo, and then the load subform, and then you can also click on auto order button. That's the one here. All right, it's gonna take it back to what it was. All right, so that's the auto order. All right, so if we want, we want this guy to be the third, and then the photo carrier drivers. Then we need select and then drag it. Hold the left key and drag it until you see the black line, and then click OK. And then if you want to stretch a little bit this, perfect. Now to use the form gives you flexibility in selecting both the carrier and their loads. You can use the navigation button at the bottom of the screen to move among the carriers. You can use the navigation button in the subform to move among the loads currently shown on the screen. So let's view the form. And then let's go to the navigation here. Next, 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 next. And then you can click on here. And then you can click here. It's gonna open the manage. All right. And then you can also add if you want to add. If you want to remove the selected attachment, you can open the attachment, right? You can save selected item as a specified location, right? So we're gonna cancel. We don't want to do anything in here, all right? You can also double click to open the attachment. Now we're gonna add the load for Arica. So you will click the start date, all right? And then we're gonna say 7, enter the ending date. You also have the calendar here, 7/9, 2024. Press the enter key. The rate, the mileage is 371, and the truck is RF. All right. Now we have to go back to the first record. All right. Now, if you want to go through this, you can use this navigation for the subform. You see, right? This one is for the whole thing. So if you click this, it's gonna change the whole thing, both the main form and the subform is here. All right. So this one here is what we call the main form, right? And this one here is your subform. And we created this subform using the table load subform. All right. So the next thing is now if you want to add like you want to type, you can keep on typing here, type whatever you want, right? And then if you want to add, you see the attachment, you will click on it, you will add any document that you want to add, you can keep on adding, right? And then you will click OK. Now, object dependencies. In Access, some object depend on the other object. For example, the report depend on the table or the query on which it is based. That is, a change to the structure of a table or query could affect the report. So in that sense, the report depends on the table or query. If you delete a field from the table, for instance, any report based on that table that uses the deleted field will no longer be valid, right? So you can view the information on dependencies between the database object. Viewing a list of objects that depends on a specific object helps in the maintenance of the database and to avoid errors when changes are made to the object involved in the dependency. For example, many items such as the queries and forms use data from the load table and thus depend on the load table. By clicking the object dependency button, you can see what items are based on the object. You can also see the item on which the object depends. Right? So to view the object dependencies, right? So we want to see the object that depends on the loads table might be affected by any changes you made to this table. So first we need to close the table, the form, save the changes. Now select the table loads, right? And then let's go to the database tools. And then you're gonna see under the relationship in the ribbon, the group that says relationship, click on object dependencies. So select the loads. And then here you're gonna see in the right hand side, the object dependencies, right? So in this case, the load table is selected, right? And then if you look, the objects that depend on me object button, you see the object that depends on me. Which table depends on me? The table is loads, right? So these are the list in here. So the object that I depend on option button you have also, and then you can resize the pointer indicate you can resize the pane by dragging. You can drag it this way, right? And then you will also see the object that depend on the load table. These are the ones here, right? So from here all the way to here, these are the object that depends on the load table, right? So you can expand that, see, table loads. If we go here, that one, it says split load the split. It has load split. And then we create a load report also, right? So we need to close the object. So the next one is the data. What if you have a field, data, time, long, text, and yes or no field, and how you gonna use the query for those columns who are date and time, long text, and yes, no field, and how you gonna extract the information, right? So in the in this step, I'm gonna use the date, time, long text, yes, no field in queries to search for carriers and loads that met specific criteria. As you know, the KillerNet wants to find carrier loads drop off after 7/3/2024 who have the word reefer in their equipment type or who accept LTL loads. So to do that, we will go to create. We will go to create query design. So let me go back. First create. Then you will see the group that says queries, query design. Now we need to add the table. In the right hand side, it shows you the tables, the list of tables. So we need to double click the carriers and then we need to double click the loads. And then both these tables are built related to each other. You can stretch it. All right. Now in this case, I'm looking for the carrier name, the drop off date, I'm looking for the equipment type. Double click from the carrier table. And then we are looking for the LTL, right? So now we are looking for the drop date under the criteria. The criterion for the drop off date field is I'm looking for greater 7 2024. So we have the criteria set to greater 7 3 2004 as a criterion, and then we have to click the criteria row for the type, and then we need to say the type. So in this case, so we did this, right? And then you could run your query. You got all the dates that you said before 7/3, right? 7/3, so we have 7, so after 7/3, that's why we put the greater sign. Now we're gonna go back, and you will notice that access will edit the hash. That's okay. Now we need to delete the criteria from the drop off, and then we're gonna go to the equipment under the criteria row, and underneath the equipment type, and then we're gonna say a star the asterisk, and then we're gonna say refer, and then I don't know what is after the refer, so you can put the star again. Now run the query under the results, then the explanation, which is the run. Now you get all the refers. Okay. So I'm showing you that what if you have a long data type of a field, equipment type, how you gonna pull up all these information? Because see, you type a lot of information there, right? So what you could do, you could put the star before, and if you know the word that you want to search, so refer, and then I don't know what is after refer. Now when you run it, so I have refer. Before refer, you see I put the star because there's container there, and then after and drive shipping, that's after the star I put there after the refer. So that's why you see tanker, 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 and dry van. So let's go back to the design. So the next one is, what if you want the yes, the LTL that has yes in it. So I will take off this, and then I will go here, and then I will always remember the wildcard, which is the multiplication sign. We're gonna use in searching for a long text field, right? So now we erased it, the equipment type. We are in the date here. So if you want, we can say the drop off after 7/3 2024, and under the LTL, yes. Now let's check it. because the LTL data type was yes or no. So the one that you have a checksum, that's the yes. And you have only one record that satisfy your condition, right? So if you want to save, you can save it, but we don't want to save it. So we're gonna close it. Do you want to save? No. Now we can close the database. Now we can go to our folder, documents, access lecture, and then chapter 5, ClearNet, double click it, maximize it. All right. So we're gonna create a simple form with a data sheet, right? So to do that, if you click the carrier, so what you see is a simple form with a data sheet, right? So you can create similar to this one also, okay? So like in this case, let me close this. Let me go to create, and then you can have a form, a blank form like this. And then you will see the field, you will click the show table, and then you will click on the create, and then you will click, you will drop it. Then you need the carrier name, the carrier name. You need the contact. You need the font. Just select and drag it until you see the pink line. You see the pink line that release your finger. Now you can select and you can stretch it. Uh, all right. So this is just creating a simple form with a data sheet. Also, you can do that, or creating a form with a data sheet in a layout view. That's a layout view now. Remember when you see the orange over the label or the text, what that means, you are in a layout. So let me show you. Look, layout view. So using the layout view, we created this form. And then we can go to the loads, and then we could indicate the end date, which one they want. So we have to select the date, drop off date, the drop off date. We can also put the load. Let me delete this one. So we added this, right? You can just drag it like this, and then the status, click. And when you see the vertical line, the pink, release it here. And then we need the shipper, select and drag it. So what we did now, using the form layout view, we created a form with a subform, right? Now, let's see. I will view it. Then next, see, everything's changing using the form layout. We created this. You can you can boldface this. You can shrink it down. All right. So you can also create multi-table form based on the many tables that you have. With that, I can just close it, save it. I will save it as load form. All right. So if you click the load form, all right, right. So here's the load. Actually, if you don't save it, that's okay. So that ends my lecture and my video regarding multi-table forms. I hope that you have learned a lot from this video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like, be sure to share with your family, your friends, and keep on subscribing to the channel so that I will be able to create more videos in the coming days. So keep on practicing, and I will attach the zip folder with all the pictures and the starting file that I was using, the access file which I was using in this video will be inside the zip folder. So I hope that you learn a lot. Thank you so much and have a nice and blessed day. Thank you.